Oğlum ne ara başlamış maç? Abi bir tane pistol kazan ya Gambi. Bir tane pistol kazanla. Bütün pistolleri verdiler.
Vikings find success. They invest their money wisely as they get a bulldog in the hands of Saucy as well. Gambit only real difference is they do have that Marshall in the hands of Defo. Misses the first shot.
Yeah, and Defo has he's either been past that Marshall and he just invested in half armor,
çok teşekkür ederim.
or
12. ayın kutlu olsun.
really
Ne
invested
çekiliş
quite a
abi?
bit into this round. Not sure exactly which one it is quite yet. Sage wall will
Ne
go
doğum günü
down.
ya? Kimin doğum günü?
The defenders should have a good idea of it, and Saucy does.
Exactly. As soon as that wall goes down, Saucy's there with that bulldog. Defo takes the high
Siktir,
ground.
benim doğum günüm az kaldı.
Work their way forward. Very similar to what we saw in the previous round, but Saucy just not giving much up, and then Wtcn does a bit of the same. They're only
24 olacağım.
on the side of Gambit. The spike is nowhere near any of them.
34.
Nats does collect a bulldog, good jump spot, but Wtcn
29.
holding on to the trigger.
Onu sikeyim, 29 mu?
Vallahi 29 oluyorum ya. İnanılmaz oğlum bu ya. Çok yaşlandım.
Great.
That was just too much,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yolun
the
yarısı.
positioning was great, and really for
Yolun
Gambit to have
yarısı.
gotten as far as they did was great. They tried to work through mid, but then the kills that go down there, and then the spike
31'e
going
son
down
2
there.
kaldı.
I think that was ultimately the problem because you saw two members of Gambit were already towards B, right? Like they were on B proper. If they had the spike in their hands, potentially a different outcome. But because of where it fell, they had to double back for it, and it was exactly what Vikings wanted, right? Like walk right into their lap.
Yeah, exactly.
Sene sonra mezar bakalım beraber Ferit'im.
It's an okay save.
Bakalım
though.
abi,
It's an
bakalım.
okay save.
Bakalım.
As a technical pause comes out to play. What was that noise, Doug? What you got?
The technical pause.
Okay.
Ben çok
I
yaşamam zaten.
believe, and I might regret saying this, so do I say? I am gonna say it.
Do
Yeah,
it.
I
Do
like
it,
to
Doug.
flirt with disaster. Why
Yeah.
not? I want to say this is our first technical pause,
No,
possibly ever.
no,
Potter.
no.
Oh yeah, you and me.
No. That's false. On day one, we had a couple technicals. Come on, Doug.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
They
I thought they were
weren't
just
long, though.
timeouts. Oh,
They
maybe that's
weren't
what
long.
it was. Maybe
Yeah,
that's what it was.
see, we haven't gone through a technical pause where it's like, 5, 10
Now you're
extended
messing
minutes.
with us. Now you're just talking about flirting with
60
disaster.
mı?
All right. So far, you haven't
Jinxed it
jinxed
the
us.
opposite way. You see what I did, Doug? You see what I did?
Yani 60 yaşında olup
back into the
eğer
action.
sağlıklı olursam okey.
Gambit down early.
Ama baktım böyle sağlıksız falan direkt fişi bir
So
çekelim.
this will be my last drawback to the previous time we saw them on Icebox. They lost the pistol, they lost the second round, they lost the bonus as well. Right? So far things have a potential
40
to go
yaşında 10
exactly
yıl
as
kalacak.
they did
Vay
last
ananı
time,
sikeyim.
and that is obviously very
Neye 10
concerning
yıl kalacak?
for fans of
40
Gambit.
yaşına.
Yeah,
11 yıl.
very concerning, especially as you say that right off the bat, Shadows gets taken out.
Üzülme lan
Gambit
Ferit.
are man down.
Yıkıldım,
Now
kahroldum amına
Rhaegar,
koyayım.
he's 3 away from the orb. Now a lot of stars have to align for
Spora
him.
başlıyorum Burak.
But perhaps
Neye başlıyorsun?
Spora.
collecting the orbs, maybe finding a frag for himself.
Gençleşim mi
Might be on
diyorsun?
the cards.
Yaşlı mı
Because you
hissediyorsun
can see
abi?
that Nats he's being patient.
Sağlıklı
He's
olmak
not
lazım.
leaving A. So
Yaş
this tells you
ilerledi.
that Gambit, they're not planning to fully commit to B
Doğru.
at this time.
Tabii.
No, and this feels so much like
Oh, he got
Gambit.
spotted.
Sen de başlıyor musun spora?
Yep, you called it.
Alakam olmaz
This might be the
alakam.
opening that they need because off of spotting Nats, they send Vikings send 3 back towards A, and that exactly should open the door for Gambit to make their way in towards B. Now you've got 2 members in Wtcn and Saucy who are starting to creep their way back. Once this and the dart too, the dart.
Chronicle ne yapıyor? Sesi de duydu amına koyayım.
Chronicle already falls. They haven't gotten the spike down yet. The wall's gonna fall as Redgar looking to get it. He does. But it's a 5v2. This is brutal.
This is more than brutal. Look at this flank coming in from Wtcn. Defo finding that kill does mean
Aynen,
a lot,
arkaya
but
bakmayın.
man, this flank for Wtcn.
Well, and the
Gambit
defuse-
just had no idea.
Yeah, Wtcn just stuck it.
Yeah.
And this is, we've been here.
Yeah.
And actually, it is something that I wanted to mention, Potter, because this whole you lose the opening 3 rounds and a half has happened. I believe this is the 3rd time in this series, right? Like where they're just getting busted on the bonus. They're not converting when they have the gun advantage, and this is becoming a recurring theme.
Yeah, it certainly is. And A little bit wonky, a little bit disappointing actually. is
Kornerden
the
atmış amına
for
koyayım.
This hit, you know, you saw the idea behind it, right? Redgar walled up Chronicle, the Sova
10 numara
on
gol.
Gambit as he went across the bridge into that kitchen area, but it just seems like Vikings, they're making the reads. They're in the right places at the right times, and they're punishing Gambit when they get close to these sites.
Gambit managed to move around dollars just enough so that they can bring in a little bit here. You hear the Empress comes online, courtesy of FRZ. And I mean, this is so well adapted out of Vikings, even with all of the noise that was drawn towards A. That was not enough, right? You saw GTN fully send back towards B long to make sure that there's nobody coming around. So even with some of this play style that Gambit
Reyna derdi o.
known for, they're starting to be wise to it.
Oh.
FRZ doesn't get a chance to do anything. And Wtcn was good for one. Oh no, not able to land the shots.
İşte vurdu 3-3.
3v3 on the site. Remember, GTN was opposite A, so he's now going to have to hightail it back.
Kurulmadı daha
Get there in
bomba.
time for the play. The spike still hasn't been planted. They've cut noise again. Now Nats looking to get the spike down and should. Now a 3v3 for the side ensues. Sonic swings at it.
Fade
Just the
alındı.
right time.
2-2.
Tries to catch him on the way out. Doesn't land the shots on Nats, but does onto Chronicle. 3v2. Make that a, my goodness, a 1v1. And the last thing you want to do is
Oldu
1v1
valla,
against Arena,
VKS.
but Saucy has no problems with
Oğlum
it at
iyi
all.
oynuyor lan
Shows it to
VKS.
Sova, at least in this instance,
Üzerinden
was the
geçiyor
better of
Gambit.
the two.
Alo.
He gets the defuse as well. Vikings at
Enfekt.
4.
Azerbaycan'dan para atıyorum. 1 manat 8 lira ölüyorsunuz. 1 manat 8 lira ölüyorsunuz.
To put some more context, Gambit,
Niye öyle
they
dedin lan?
definitely did not have
Kardeş
the
değil miydik?
upgraded weaponry to be able to make this as close as they did.
Ay balam harbiden hani
But
kardeşlik ya.
Regardless, it still came down to that 2v2, and it was damn close.
And it wasn't nothing, right?
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
did
Oldu
had a
ya
couple
bırakın.
sectors. They had
Yeah,
something.
yeah. A little bit of something, certainly. Man, Saucy. Ice in his veins, dude.
He's a
Abi
bad dude.
inanılmaz ya. Bütün dünyanın
Bad,
dilindeyiz
dude.
ya.
Vikings up 4 here in the early moments of Icebox, an operator in the hands of GTN. And my goodness, if the man's patient, if things align just the right way, he's going to get a shot at it. And we saw it. We saw it. It was just a moment. We saw the slower, the shock dart, and the operator holding down that angle. Oh! The dart gets away, or the drone
Nasıl
does.
kaçtı ya?
I like that look, though. Love that patience from Defo. Even though he gets tagged, he waits for that jet to come into him. Unfortunately, he misses. Saucy's going to answer back with a drone of his own. Get some information in mid, and look at Sadhawk. He takes that moment of information and pushes forward. Decent position for him. The sound cues, if there are any, should give Vikings a lot of information here.
Oh, head
Oh,
from
no!
Shados. Dropped the leer, but he manages to stay alive a bit longer than I think either of us expected, but ultimately falls. A bit delayed, but the outcome as predicted. Gambit, numbers advantage for, what, potentially the first time this map?
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to convert.
Drone'u var mı?
Saucy is in a
Sesinin.
peculiar spot here.
Şeyin,
He'll be able to dismiss
Barnacle'ın.
away, but he just
Yok.
gets spotted.
Oh
What a
hell.
dash.
Shados
Doesn't
vurdu
get a
valla.
shot at anything as he drops. You heard the Empress come online at the hands of Shados.
Resti var
Only one
Redgar'ın.
armor to his name. Wtcn
Oh!
in a good spot, and Saucy is as well. Saucy gets 2 before falling. The wall goes up. The res comes through as well to bring Shados back online. We'll see if the Empress can cause more problems, more damage. The spike's still in tow. You don't really have time to go anywhere else. You're going to have to get through the defenses. You're gonna have to get past GTN. So far, so good. Redgar
Let's hoş geldin
should
abi.
have enough time to get the spike down. Wtcn in that 1v2. Too much to
Var ya,
look at
göz
at
zoruyla
once.
aldılar ha.
Gambit, they get the first round.
Right when
Nets
they
bitik
needed
ya.
as well.
Burak.
Nats, no
Ne oldu
other than
Nets'imize ya?
Nats
Ne oldu
showed
ya?
up
Vallahi bitik bitik.
Ya bu
right in
turnuva
the nick of
favorilerine
time with
bakmışlar.
that flank.
Bak.
All of a
Ben
sudden
diyorum.
finds
İzli gümbür
himself
gümbür.
in that
Kesin
heaven
manita
area
yaptı ya.
and is able to help out his teammate. What a
Twitter'da çok
slow
dolanıyor abi, o Twitter
draw
açtı.
out
Tabii.
round.
Ben onu
At
takip
every
ediyorum,
point,
o çok
it seemed
dolanıyor
like Vikings had
Twitter'da.
a pretty good look, a pretty good response. I mean, it all started off with that Sage in a very forward position in mid. But Gambit, they're able to make this A work slowly but surely. They're figuring out how to
Oo,
put rounds on the board.
sinirlenmişler.
This
Bir
is
dakika.
starting to happen early. Look,
Kabiliyat
I know
falan
it's just one,
ağız okudum.
Right,
but
rounds
this
on the board.
round on
Gambit
the board.
sinirli.
But that should start to kind of provoke some ideas, right? To start getting the gears rolling. And maybe they'll have some answers.
And so we saw that same utility setup early on there at the opening of the round. Don't be long that we saw in the previous round. Again, the slow orb onto the shock dart, and then the operator was in a different angle. But it's there, right? To where if that for some reason wasn't enough, there's overkill on damage to clean up an
Başkanın aracının altına bomba mı koymuşlar? Ne?
Right? Like we haven't seen them waltz their way out. It's always been off of the drone or something of the such to create some space and provide some safe passage for them to work their way through.
Yeah, and this is kind of a rinse and repeat for Gambit. Last time around we saw exactly
Hasta
this, except
galiba
Nats
abi.
was at
Ama
A,
öyle değil.
and while the rest of the 4-pack were at B, Nats made the first move.
Orada
Looks
görev
like
yapan bir
it's the
polis
same thing,
memurunun
except
aracının altına
swapped.
koymuşlar.
Nats does find the opening onto
Meeting'de.
Wtcn, places a little bit of damage, and the Viper Pit's gonna go down.
Bayağı
The
bomba
Spike is meeting
gözüküyor
up with them.
resimde.
Well, and it's interesting because oftentimes we've seen them fake off of this, but this is real. There's no doubt about it. The rest of Gambit have shown up. You've got Sanak who's playing close by. The wall's going to go up from Redgar. He's going to get the spike down as well. Get one step
Bayağı
closer.
C4 yerleştirmiş ya.
The Hunter's Fury out from Saucy. Did some damage. He got some tags, but it wasn't enough to get the kill. And as you mentioned, Shadows drops through all of that action. Post-plant in tow.
Oh, Redgar trying to find a cheeky timing. But he gets just deleted by Sudikas. Spike is ticking away. Viper's Pit is still in play. And I think we're waiting for some solo util, perhaps?
Well, and it's another counter. It's another counter Viper's Pit. They still have numbers. At least they had him, but Nats able to respond with 2. Vikings clean things up, though, and they get the defuse. It was a good setup out from Gambit. It was a slightly different flavor of what we've seen, and Vikings handle it as well.
They do handle it. My goodness. I'm not even sure how that fell so flat. It does seem like Vikings, no matter what, their answer to the Viper ult is to place their own and all congregate into their own Viper's Pit and just make sure they're good for the trades. It sounds simple enough. Of course, in practice and in executing it, it's not that simple. But man, Vikings are making it work consistently across this entire series.
I'll take everything from them.
That's what Vikings is on the precipice of doing in this group stage. Well, maybe not everything. They're still the lower match, but certainly not where anyone expected Gambit to be in this group.
Şafak çok teşekkür ederim 10 kişiye sabreden için. Hoş geldiniz arkadaşlar.
It's close. It's within reach. They have to finish things, and an early 4-round lead is exactly what they want, but Gambit again have tested the waters. They're leaving Nats close by 410, I believe, was just spotted by the drone out from Saucy. So now Gambit have to choose how do you reset this round? How do you want to approach it?
Yeah, Sudikas is going to have to be real careful right now. He's all alone, and I know Gambit's purchases is not as good. Well, they're not going to go towards B main, so he's all good. It looks like this is going to be a B split with a Sage wall. Oh, it's an A split.
Silence.
Oy. Oğlum ne yaptı adam?
They wanted it to be an A split, but man, they've just been so on point, Potter, right? Like they've been almost
bitirmişler ya elemanlar.
Since Bind, a Prime Gaming flawless.
Bence underdog takımlardan biri şampiyon olacak.
Gambit, we find them where we found them.
Vallahi olabilir ya. Valorant'ın da makarası bu abi. Hiç belli olmuyor. Kestiremiyorsun yani hangi takım şampiyon olur diye. Çok net kestirebilen var mı mesela? Champions turnuvası. Şu takım şampiyon olabilir kesin diye kimse diyemiyor yani. Hiç belli değil çünkü.
That stage right now, man, I'm getting chills because you can hear the passion, just how much this means to these guys, and they are on Gambit. They're gonna have to find a response because if there's one
Vallahi
thing
bence
I know
Fnatic'in
about
şansı daha
Brazil,
yüksek Liquid'e
once
karşı.
they start rolling that snowball down the
Ya
hill,
gerçi belli olmaz da.
I mean, I don't even know what it takes to stop a snowball that big.
I don't know that there is anything that can do it. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Potter. For Gambit, I will say this though, like.
Oğlum Delke çok iyi oynuyor şu anda. Yanıyor adam.
Become a very competitive half. It is 6-1 and history would suggest otherwise, but you find yourself even at 7-5, kind of given how this has gone, like, oh, okay. Yeah. You can make something happen, but a lot of the concerns that we saw from Gambit on Icebox, they're still around, right? Like they haven't necessarily been taken care of. And the crazier thing about all this is, on the side of Vikings, they've played this map 3 times, Potter, since July, and they've only won it.
Lan ne yaptın amına koyayım?
Ne yapıyor oğlum?
Yeah, that's tough. Those are worrying signs. certainly worrying signs for Gambit. And I think, okay, no operator. I was wondering if we would see an operator coming out for Defo. I think they got to get some B main control, right? I mean, either A main or B main, one or the other. It seems like a lot of the focus in the beginning of the round has been towards mid.
Vay
And
amına
they're going
koyayım.
again.
Gel.
Ooh, Sadhak.
Bu alak mı?
They know. The shock dart's there too. He has to drop down.
Wow.
And it's a gift delivered to Sadhak with Christmas right around the corner. He drops him out without Nats. Taking care of him as well, 4v4 for the rest of the round.
Sadhak, beautiful response, or rather Redgar with the trade.
Headshot yedi.
Even doing some splash damage there. GTN, what a flank from Gambit Chronicle here. GTN, he's under so much
Ow.
pressure. He's getting
Whoa.
flanked.
And he manages to get Redgar anyway. He still has to deal with Chronicle. That shock dart, that pesky little shock dart, stopping his antics for now. Okay, and Gambit have snatched this thing right back.
Hayda bomba.
Spike.
Yep, and Saucy.
Bu
He's
eleman
been a
alır ya
fruit
ele.
in instances like this before.
Evet fena
He's
oynuyor.
come up big for the team. He's going to get a chance to isolate it as well.
çıkartmadı.
If he looks at the right spot. No, nothing. Chronicle gets the third. Gambit gets to 2, and we talked about it, Potter, right? Like 7-5. 7-5's okay. We take 7-5. They get one step
Gambit'i
closer.
tutmayı
They
bırakmalısın.
do, they do. And this time around, the
Birini
trade
tutmuyorum ya. Ben sadece bu maçın bitmesini
they come in
istiyorum artık.
Gambit's favor. You
Umurumda
know,
değil
nice
Gambit'in
one for
kazanıp
one there.
kaybetmesi.
At least there was a response, right?
Eternality
Jen, you
13.
saw
ayın kutlu olsun.
how much
Çok
pressure,
teşekkürler.
the shock dart coming, the Sage even spamming his little toes right above that tube area. But the fact that on that response, Redgar higher round for Gambit. Good response and a nice lurk opening here for Redgar.
Once again, we're seeing mid taken. Defo likes to get up top, likes to take up space. This almost feels like we've seen this round before. That was
Deja vu.
eerily deja
Yeah,
vu.
deja
We
vu.
just saw that happen.
Look at this wall up. Saucy right on the other side of things. Redgar and Nats, they do have a pretty good idea that this is a possibility.
Surely they heard it. Right? Surely they heard it. No. Sassy goes up top.
Oh,
Are they
oh.
going to be expecting him?
Duydu,
to reach around?
Nets
Yes,
duydu.
Nets is. Gambit seems to have awakened at least for now. But Sadhak and FRZ keeping things at bay. Chronicle looking to get the spike down. Should succeed. Shados aggressively pushing the matter, taking some of that space back as Sadhak drops a 3v2 in favor of Gambit. Spike ticking away.
Bak şurada 2 kill aldılar aslında. Bundan sonra şuradan geçmemeleri gerekli yani. Şu geriden çıkmaları lazımdı aslında. Hepsi CT'ye döndü zaten. Oraya baktıkları çok belliydi.
There are 2 smokes for GTN as he picks up a rifle. If he's able to find a first, maybe he can force it to half.
They have their Hunter's Fury in the hands of Chronicle too, and there it is, right? Comes on out, they have to take that fight to his lap. FRZ was able to get one, but that was all he was good for. Shados gets 3, cleans up the round, has an Empress as well, and I think
6-3.
the other thing we kind of have to mention here is Vikings, excuse me, Gambit, they took what they wanted, right? Like they got
Ne
this
o
fight down, they
limonata?
were able to get the kills that they were looking for, but this
Ne
is
haberi?
some of that
Olu haberi mi?
aggressive positioning out from Shados that I think we need to see,
Hipnotiz
right?
kaptan
Get this
7. ayın
fight
kutlu
down,
olsun.
go into defender spawn, fight back there to apply even more pressure.
Yeah, and Shados should definitely be thanking Defo and Redgar right
Anladım,
now
biliyorum
because
abi.
these two were so aggressive in mid. Again, you said it right, Doug, that deja vu Defo top tube, and again he's up there. It
Valla
just
Türk
seems like
oyunu olduğu
this is
için
rinse
uzak
and
duruyorum.
repeat. Sure, it's working, but
Well, and that's the thing. It seems like for Gambit, it's fine if you see Defo up there. We don't really care because we're going to win out that duel. We're going to drop more people there to ensure that it's not just the 1v1, that they have the numbers advantage and that they're able to trade off, and that's exactly what they do.
yeah, so much damage taken for Gambit. They are able to top off Nats at least. And there are 2 members backside. Saucy, he's good for it. Hunter's Fury is online.
And the res as well, if there's a chance at something, maybe Sadhak can
Oh.
call Comrade back. GTN no longer
Pardon, bir video
around as
açtım.
the spike goes down. You see the dart is giving Redgar away. Hunter's Fury, a little dance around. Nope. Really no need.
Oh,
Saucy cleans him up. What a
Oy!
was that?
Görmedim
Fish in a
ya.
barrel.
Ne yaptı
Saucy
lan?
gets the last. Chronicle's gonna have to go absolutely ballistic, and he's not gonna get the
Pembe
chance.
mezarlık
The
mı?
ace for Saucy, the 7th
Pembe
round for
mezarlık, aynen.
Brazil.
Saucy with the blind Hunter's Fury. That was his last one as well. And he gets a double.
Bu eleman
That's 3
fenayım. Bu
kills
neymiş ya
on
bu
this
Türk
retake.
bu adam?
Sasi değil mi?
Bu
neymiş?
Sasi geçen turnuvada da iyi oynuyordu aslında
What
da.
a fantastic round. And that was
Oh.
one of those wonky weird buys.
Bir de görmeden
as well.
sıkıyor galiba onu.
My
Aynen.
goodness.
And Potter, we talked about it. Momentum. Look at it. That's momentum right there, right? Like, that's in its rawest form. The shifting of the tides back their way. Gambit had put together a couple of rounds. It seemed like they had finally figured themselves out and were in a position to make that a good one. And that type of play can be backbreaking.
We'll see what the response is here for Gambit. There's only a Spectre on both the duelists back here. Definitely not what you want to see. Saucy, that's some decent information, and right now the jig is up. You know, we talked about 3 rounds in a row. Gambit have been in mid. Right now there's not a single body. Viper's Pit does go down. This should be a lot of information for Vikings.
Well, and Wtcn is not going to have his, but in not having his to counter, he decides the second best way to take care of that is to just take care of Nats and drop the ultimate out from Gambit. With that, the numbers advantage in favor of Viking. You hear the Empress come through. Gambit testing the waters towards A, and you've got a setup here. You've got FRZ in a good spot to make a play.
Spy should go down. And yeah, this dart combo, it's got to mean a lot. It's got to mean everything for these Gambit guys. If they're even going to bother retaking, which at this point they kind of have to.
Sorbs coming through, Shadows creeping around the ice wall. Drops. Saucy, see if you can find some more success.
Yok abi, yok.
Wtcn and Wtcn with the op.
Yok ediyor ya VKS, yok ediyor yani.
İzin vermiyorlar ya.
Eğim duel
Gerçekten
kazanamıyor ki
As well to
Gambit.
get Wtcn one step closer to having his Viper's Pit online. We talked about how that has kind of
Gambit
gone off.
elenirse elenmiyorlar da.
Prime Gaming flawless out for Vikings to
Bunu
get
kaybederlerse
potentially a 9-3 half.
Team Secret Crazy Raccoon kazananıyla oynayacaklar. Gambit elenmez ya, her türlü çıkar playoff'a da. Gerçi Team Secret'a karşı zorla kazandılar, belli olmaz burası da.
That's a really bad sign. That's scary, scary stuff. And for the Viking side, they're making these retakes look damn easy, Doug. And those are challenging to do, but it just seems like they're synergized on a whole nother level right now that I actually haven't even seen Vikings ever do before.
Wtcn has that op, only Spectres
Neden bilmiyorum.
for Gambit, and that's not the start you wanted, and it goes from bad to worse as Defo and Redgar are both sitting on the sidelines for the rest of the round. Sadak
Şu an Gambit salmış gibi ya.
insult to injury. The drone's gonna give away.
Ya ne oluyorsa olsun artık. Ay.
Potentially the op to boot. No, it's Sadak. Wtcn's Blade Storm. In the op. Oh, they have no idea. Oh, they know now. Chronicle. I mean, surely. Not, right? Yeah. What a half out from Vikings. Gambit never really had a chance at all. At least it didn't seem that way. It seemed like they never got their footing. A lackluster half for Gambit, all things considered.
Definitely lackluster indeed.
Brezilyalıların Valo'da bu kadar iyi olması şaşırtıcı. Ben hiç şaşırmıyorum. Zaten Brezilyalılar FPS'i iyi oynuyor yani. FPS oyunlarını genelde iyi oynar. Valo'da da iyi olmaları şaşırtıcı değil aslında.
The rest of the squad, he brought him this time. 4 members of Gambit all in mid. Didn't win a single duel.
We're going to throw it to the desk to try to really put an obituary together for Gambit, potentially, at least on Icebox. Yinsu?
Wow, Doug has already
Gerici adam 14. renk olsun. Çok
The
teşekkürler.
9-3 curse, right? The 9-3 curse is a real thing, but Bala, what a performance from Vikings. As you were saying before we got tossed over to the desk, it's happening. It's happening.
We might have our first real upset. I mean, we've lost this. They lost a map the other time, and it's like, oh, the upset's happening. But in reality, we never really lost hope in them, especially after that 13-0 on Breeze. This time they lost the second map. This time the momentum is in Vikings' favor. I think all signs are pointing. I mean, we just saw the 9-3, so yes, obviously, this sounds stupid, but even at the beginning of this map, I think the signs are pointing
The momentum's in Saucy's favor.
Yes.
Valla Brezilya'nın iki takımı da bu turnuvaya iyi çalışmış ya. Ben onu görüyorum. Bayağı takımları çok iyi analiz etmişler yani.
So much confidence flowing through him, and you can see. I mean, of course, that was just the most insane thing the most insane Hunter's Fury I think I've ever seen. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean his utility usage.
Döner mi, ne diyorsunuz?
Has been incredible from Saucy, and he's proving to you why you want to see him on the Sova.
Yeah, exactly. He's just so strong.
Bence başını döner ama.
Over and over at these types of things. The Hunter's Furies were perfect. I think one thing that was Gambit was not able to adapt well with was how many times do we see Wtcn pushing down tube and then a dart coming in while Defo is up above him, and over Defo's getting pressured by that. Yes, sure, he's not getting spammed or anything like that that's really causing him to have to worry about it, but that's just extra things going off in his mind, and I have to say, it looks a little shaky on the terms of like emotional level on the Gambit side. They're getting loud in some cases. They're getting, you know, I'm not sure where we stand on how we feel about Gambit's emotional like fortitude in games like this, but what I can say is
BCBZ'de 17. ayınklı olsun. Çok teşekkürler, çok sağ ol. Yani şu an mental çöküş yaşıyor. Gambit önce bundan kurtulmaları lazım. Mentali resetlemeleri lazım. Momentum komple VKS'de abi. Elleri yanıyor hepsinin. Bu elemanı ben birine benzetiyorum ama şeye benzemiyor mu lan? Bu her yıl başında video çeken var ya, evde deliler gibi bağıran, oradan oraya koşan. Neydi o çocuğun adı ya? Çocuk bir ara Twitch'te de yayın açıyordu. Harbi benziyor. Yiğit aynen.
Okay, well, Bola and Papersim believes it is happening. Potter and Doug, let's see if Vikings can pull this off.
Thank you, ENCS. Just
Hadi
a
bakalım.
couple of rounds away from this thing happening. Vikings put together the last three in the face of Gambit's seeming attempt at shifting momentum.
Hadi bir Gambit çevirsin de bir güzel maç izleyelim ya.
Gambit on the defensive half. We'll see what they can figure out.
İlk ele bakar.
This, I mean, we're on the precipice of a major upset, as Bala said.
We certainly are. Now, the last time we watched both these teams playing
Gambit.
Icebox, Vikings had a very
komple 4 kişi midden pushuyorlar. Wow.
Swing around that corner, you're about to see a lot, brother.
Pozisyonu çok iyi Sudakas'ın.
Sadhak gets the spike down. There they go.
Eyvah eyvah. Defo öldü gene. Hep Defo ölüyor amına koyayım.
Takes one with him though. One for his troubles.
Aha. Nets de öldürdü. Nets'e pushlayacaklar. Nets'e pushlayacaklar. Oh. Çözüyor Shadows. Çözdü. Hadi bakalım.
Jeez Louise, what a round. A 4-man flank to start off the round. I mean, they didn't even defend A.
I mean, this happens all the time.
Yeah, it was just like, you know what, never mind. Let's just not play A side at all.
Let's just
get the retake going before it even starts. And they're already in the site by the time the spike is planting.
Ya gene alamadılar aslında pistol round'u da işte. Bomba çözdüler.
There's like a little something here. Yeah, I like this a lot. Play with some swagger, baby.
Yeah, I do feel like in this series we've been getting these forces in these second rounds almost consistently. And I believe on split it was that they were able to convert. Wtcn, he's going aggressive. He's not stopping, Doug.
Oh, there's no other way to do it. This thing only seems to have one speed, and that speed is go. The wall goes up. Sadak gets the spike down. Wtcn still playing around. He does get tagged up. Ooh, and that's a costly death early on.
Beautiful pickup for Shadows, and oh man, all
Abi 3 kişi orada sıkıntı yalnız.
They're all stuck under the heaven here.
Do they check? Do they check? He checks, but nothing. Shadows drops.
Eyvah eyvah. Eyvah eyvah.
Oh, Wtcn, Nats, they have to fight back there. They have to fight down, and now Nats comes up so big.
Your time to shine artık ya.
Sudakas, you've got to swing out here. Don't let him do it to you again. The swing out.
Abi bu adam clutch kaybetmezdi ya.
Oh, all three members, Doug. All three members just
Yok,
kind of
bu-
holding hands, singing Kumbaya
Cici.
underneath the raptor there. You asked, are they going to check? Of course they're going to check, and they absolutely checked. But either way, Vikings, they come out on
Rahat
top.
girdi ya
These guys
elemanlar
have
A'ya.
each
El kol
other's back,
sallayarak
and
girdiler
whenever
yani.
things get hectic, whenever things get tough, in those pressured moments, in the middle of the site, they got each other's back.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Gambit got it close. They won that pistol, but given how the second round went off of Vikings' investment, Gambit are back down to pistols. It is 4 sheriffs, 4 of the 5. And that's as an armor,
Defo
has
büyük
armor
troll
worth
ya.
as well, light armor, but armor nonetheless. So Gambit are certainly not out of this one.
Look at
They
that.
stand a fighting chance. They're going.
Look at Devo. Pensiliye şey yaptı lan aşağıladı.
Sudakos, he's either going to have a real good time farming right now, or he's going to get one sheriff right here. Well, there you go. Good night.
Maybe Saucy can have some more success. 1, 2. Get third. Gets a third.
Oh,
No.
the running gun!
Yeah, Shadow said upgraded. He's able to get that. And you've got Chronicle trying to cut off rotations. GTN knows that he's there. The spam's through. The shots are clean. They drop him. Still got to get the defuse. FRZ
Beautiful.
dancing around. The last one's
Beautiful.
there. Shadow
11-4.
strong. Vikings get to 11. Potter, you can feel it beginning to build. You can feel the energy in the
Ben şey
arena
demiştin ya
starting
abi.
to suck out of the
İşte
side of Gambit. As
Berk'in
Brazil
yanına
somehow gets
kız
louder and
gösterdiler.
louder
Herhalde
with
Defo'ya da
every step they
Brezilyalı
take
gösterdiler
closer
ya.
to the upset.
Olabilir valla.
Absolutely. I can feel the presence of that victory. It's so close for these
Defo'nun
Vikings
yani
guys. They can certainly sense
aklı
it.
şu an
And a
oyunda değil ya.
beautiful round as well. I mean, as their confidence is booming, they're just getting better and better. I talked about the fact that they were singing Kumbaya under Raptor. I mean, take a look at this last round. The ping-ponging between each other. Each player taking aggro. Each player taking off a shot. Again, they have each other's back each step of the way, and it's beautiful to see from Vikings.
The wall goes up. Defo and Shadows. You talk about having each other's backs. The 2-star duelists on the side of Gambit.
Güzel start.
Get an excellent start to this round as they find
5
themselves
ve
at
3
a
artık bu elde vermezler herhalde.
rifles the rest of the way for both of these teams, but Gambit, they have the upper hand for now.
And Sudakos.
Defo bu arada harbiden çok gaz oyuncu.
Timing here in mid. I think he's got to wait.
Böyle birkaç round iyi oynasa diğer roundlarda çözer de.
Maybe his teammates towards this B main can't get
Toplayamadı ya.
contact for him, but depending on
Tutlanamadı.
how these frags go down at B main,
Tam momentum oyuncusu.
that's going to be the opening for Sudakos potentially to
Seysi
make this
yaşıyor.
kitchen flank work.
Burak hatırlamadın mı lan? Seysi senin elemanın da amına koyayım. Bayağı severdin.
Oof, not able to land those shots, but man,
O
that
mu
was
bu
close.
ya?
Evet, sasi derdin. O oğlum işte. Geçen
Ben bir
turnuvada
net
da bayağı
seviyordum.
şey
Bir tane de
yapardım.
Sova vardı. Galiba bu.
Bu işte.
O zaman.
He's looking for it. Yeah, as soon as the wall goes
İyi,
down.
işte benim adam işte. Let's go lan
On
sesi.
that at just the right time. Vikings just down to 2.
5 ve 2.
Members left in the
Sasi
round.
yaşıyor.
You've got Sarak with that res. You also have Saucy with some utility. I mean, there's a possibility to delay your long
3 kill yazdım.
round,
3 kill
potentially
yazdım.
make something happen, but Saucy has to stay alive, right? Like that was the
Anam.
win condition probably
Yıkıldı.
the round unless Sarak goes insane, and he's not. Chronicle gets a defuse. Gambit gets a 5. One step closer to that Hunter's Fury.
One step closer, that's gonna mean a lot. That should help out, obviously, the defenses, and especially towards A. You know, all second half, we've been mainly focused towards this B. Besides that,
11
pistol.
lanetim yoksa.
One of the things that was a
Döndü,
struggle
döndü.
for Gambit was their
Bak
A defense.
bu round
Shadows
belli
and
eder.
Defoe,
Bu round
that
bir
sort of
sinyalini verir.
ping-pong that we were just
Dönüp
commending
dönmediğini.
Vikings
Bakalım.
about. It's pretty difficult to play the A side, and I think that's why you're seeing most Icebox compositions always have that Jet Reyna duo combo, right? It just helps be able to actually
round bu round,
play the
aynen
A
öyle.
side with those get out of jail free cards, with the dismiss and with the dash. So we'll see what kind of forward kills Shadows can get, but GTN, he finds one in mid.
Viper's pick coming through.
Helal lan Defo.
Aa.
As well to trade that
Allah'tan
back.
adam vuramadı
Even though
amına
things
koyayım.
didn't
Jack
look
Hudson
Bulldog'u vardı
great early on,
Allah'tan.
They seem to have equalized, they seem to have stabilized for now, but the Empress coming through for FRZ. The drone to clear the way. Safe passage onto the site. Only problem is you've still got Defo. Defo's back there, and he's never an easy kill.
Sadak should get the spike down here and swat back across to safety. Just gonna hang out on top of 410 here. But yeah, this is where Vikings are going to shine. I mean, this sort of post
Arkadan giden yok. Flank yok. Hepsi CT oynayacak.
in the shock darts and in the stage slows.
Arıyor şu an.
There's a lot of ultimates here. You just heard the second Empress come online. GTN still playing around with that Bladestorm spike ticking away, but they're moving in a bunch. They're moving in a bunch, and that might be their entry in. FRZ is able to get one and drop back. Nats holds as well, but FRZ is not going down without a fight. A 1v1.
Aldı.
He's got that Bladestorm on the tap.
Yeri çok iyi bombanın.
From FRZ as Defo goes back up. Oh, the shots are there.
Aldı.
Spike ticking away.
Aldı.
12.
12.
He's gonna get away with it. My goodness, it was just enough time that was bought. You heard the pop-off come through as well as Vikings get to 12.
Ya Reyna ultisi olmasa alırdı ya Gambit. Öyle bir roundtu yani. Ultisi sayesinde şey yaptı adam. Vurup geri çıktı. Vurup geri çıktı. Buradan dönmez daha. 7 roundluk bir maç sayısı. Buradan dönsün. Chat'e çekiliş Casper'ı veriyorum chat'e amına.
Gambit backs against the ropes. Defo's Bladestorm seems to be the opener. He got
Defo?
Defo sikerler dedi.
Vikings traded back through that. What looked so promising still ends up being an advantage for Vikings.
Oy.
Chronicle looking to rip this thing right back into his hands. Saucy's got to go big. He's not this time around. Chronicle gets to the third. Or Chronicle gets the third.
Oluyor ya.
Çocuk uyuyor amına koyayım. Haberi bile yok olanlardan.
Things got a little too hypey there, Doug. Things got a little too hypey there. I think GTN overheated just a little bit. Maybe there was some sort of miscons. Maybe somebody.
Evet evet o drone'u atacak sandım ben de.
He certainly
Önlem
did not
Casper.
want to slow down there. Just going across the rope. That's a freebie for Chronicle.
Zaten orada drone'u atıyordu son anda fark etti hala şey taglendiğini.
Godlike moves. A good response, and hey, that puts a 6 on the board here for Gambi.
Well, not only that, but that also puts
Defo
Viking in a
Casper
pistol
hayranı.
high,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like every time I say that, things just go the opposite way of what you
Echo.
expect, so I just
Vikings.
I won't even speak it into existence. We'll see what Gambit can do here on the defensive side. You've got a nice setup here towards B long, but the attention from Vikings is at A for now.
And Vikings, second guess. Well, it looks like we're going to see a lot of teeter-tottering here, seesawing back and forth.
Third guess? Third guess?
Perhaps.
We'll go with third guess. And the thing is, I mean, Vikings, so here's the thing, Potter. Vikings have a big lead, and they have a lot of ultimates to their name. So yeah, it's only pistols, but the ultimate economy cannot be ignored here.
Nets yaptı oyununu.
Oh, the dart, the tee up.
Bak Nets bu oyunları çok iyi yapıyor ama yok Nets'te de bir sıkıntı var. O cross aim neydi ya öyle? O spray neydi öyle?
Vikings, they only have 30 seconds left on the clock. Spike is down, but all of a sudden this is looking funky for Gambit.
Yeah, but they
Attın o kız
still have the spike. I mean, they have
Sası ya.
upgraded some weapons. He's got the spike.
Boş ver
and
ya
the
silah var
hunter's
sende ondan.
Abi bir
But this
sincap
is such a
okuydu ya.
brutal setup, right? Like you've got exactly Defo and Shadows who are able to hold this tight angle.
Bir mermi.
Now FRZ has one bullet, 5
Ay,
HP,
yok
really
muydu ya?
nothing to his name at all. As Gambit are able to fend things off at least for now and get to 7. But the thing is, there are a couple of things to highlight there. Number one, Vikings should be able to buy here. Number two, for Gambit, that was
Semih
not
Saygıner gene mi dünya
That was
şampiyonu
costly.
olmuş?
They lost a couple of members.
Yes.
Arkadaş bu adam da sürekli smurflüyor ya dünyayı. Helal olsun abi. Thanos Grizzly 13. renkli olsun. Evet, Dana'nın kuyruğunun kopacağı round arkadaşlar. Bu roundda maç biter. İzle. 4 ulti var Vikings'e. Hop flash geldi. D-line aldılar. Shadows. Drone da kırdı. Ayıklar. Beni tahmin ederler dedi yani.
Alright, so now they've been able to push off members of Gambit from that initial angle. But I do like this from Gambit.
Viper A'dayken B oynamak istiyor galiba Vikings.
Waited out, have Gambit
Aa ikili pik Gambit'ten. Aha.
It's gone right back. The Hunter Fury's out from Chronicle, and they should know exactly where they are. It looked like
Ah.
the second tag. Wtcn manages to stay alive.
3 ve 5.
So heavily in favor of Gambit.
And all three members of Vikings are congregated towards B main here. They've got the Sage Wall.
3 ulti var ama bu eğer giderse sıkıntı ya.
Viper ulti atacak.
Three ultimates done. This is still doable. This is still completely doable for Vikings.
Make me a believer, Vikings. Right now, things don't look great. Sarak gets the spike down as
Aa
you said.
Viper ulti açmıyor.
And they do, I mean, they
Bilerek
do have
saklıyorlar
the Viper's
ultileri
mid and
galiba.
Hunter Fury, but
Yo,
they're
açtı.
so heavily outnumbered, and the rest
Aa
comes through.
4
Alright,
ve 5 oldu.
so much for that. A 5v4.
Reyna'nın
Advantage
ultisi de var.
Gambit still.
Eyvah eyvah.
Saucy
Vuruyordu
is
var ya.
back. He's got that Hunter Fury. Potter, this very well may be it. Gambit are gonna have to take the
Defo.
fight to their laps, okay? You've been able to take care of one. You haven't taken care of the biggest problem that
Üçlü
you've
bak
got
üçlü
here, though.
puşuyorlar. Şeydos.
It's getting better. FRZ drops. There's
Oh!
Hunter Fury, but Wtcn
Oi!
gets two. Wtcn gets two. I don't know that they're gonna have enough for the defuse. It's just down to Saucy, though. Shados goes right up and close.
Nice.
Shados gets the
12-8.
third.
Atlamadı değil mi?
Is there
On the defuse.
Yok.
Eko. Bir daha.
12-9
Vikings.
desen.
1 minute or 1 second? Oh my goodness, that
Eko olmaları lazım.
just
Ekolar bence de.
barely they're able
Oğlum
to
kestim.
survive there. And that was a 3 versus 5, Doug. A 3 versus 5. Vikings were down 2 men. They're able to almost convert that one. I can't believe it.
And the setup was there, right? We talked about the Sova playing far back. We talked about the Hunter Fury. Everything was there. And the thing is, Vikings
Yalnız
had to
eğer
get away with at least one more kill.
Şeydos vuramasaydı onu
All of that chaos
gitmiş
to
de.
allow the Hunter Fury to be the difference maker. They just didn't win enough of the trades. And off of that,
Ali.
Gambit were able
Oğlum
to
nasıl
get into his
Kesper
lap when they
benim?
were in a 3v1
Ali.
at that
Kesper
point, right?
almaya mı
So
gidiyorsun
even
lan?
through the
Şizo?
Hunter Fury, you can dance
Kesper
around
lan,
that,
ne
send
oluyor
one
lan?
guy to fight. That's exactly what Shados did.
Dönerse
Secure the round.
Kesper'ı veriyormuş.
Yeah.
Dönerse
You
Kesper'ı
know, a
çekiliş
part of me
yapıyorum.
almost feels like, oh, Wtcn, he killed
Atla.
2 in that Viper's pit. He was going for the
Oğlum,
third,
bana
and
gelin
that's
lan.
what ended up
Neyse,
making them
bakamam
lose,
kanka.
right? Because if you think
Ya
about
sen
it,
kendine bakamıyorsun.
Saucy, he had the Hunter's Fury in his back pocket the entire time. Wtcn didn't need to overextend past his Viper's pit
That's true.
to keep the diffuser on
Dönmez
him, right?
ya,
They already
herif
had
döner mi?
Saucy to stop the
Dönmez
diffuser.
ya,
Why
imkanı yok.
Stay tough, stay in your old
İnşallah dönmez
Make
yani.
them come hunt after you. Like,
Oğlum
"Ah,
vermem lan
that's
ben
just the
oğluma.
salty me talking."
Gambit not quite done.
Oğlum bu çocuk harbi tam ona o çocuğa benziyor ya. Yiğit'e benziyor.
At all. They've won the last 3 rounds. And what felt like was almost a done deal, right, has become much thinner ice.
Bu arada aynen dedik.
As Gambit get to 8. Vikings still looking to somehow put them away.
Güzel
They've
sus kanka.
flirted with it a number of times.
Burak bizim karşıma çıkacaksın kanka.
Ne yapacaksın kanka?
A broken buy coming
Suratına
here
şaplak
for
atacağım.
Vikings. FRC's got an ultimate to play with, and there's a
Evet,
bulldog
Echo,
on the board. I've
Vikings.
seen some funkier things, but I'll tell you, a Reyna ulti with a bulldog.
Tahmin ettiğimiz gibi.
can do
Seyis'de
some
Bulldog var.
serious damage, so we'll see if that even ever comes to play, but it's certainly on the table for
Winnable her round.
Vikings to mess with if they so choose.
Shout out to the observers, man. I was just wondering, like, can he see a foot? Like, is that there? But they drop off the X-ray just at the right time to calm everyone and let them know that it's safe passage for now. You mentioned the light buy. You mentioned the bulldog in the hands of Saucy. And for Vikings, they've gotten this far up.
04 selam var. O kim ya?
So good. Woo, boy.
Ah sattı.
Nets ne
Not the start
yaptı?
that Gambit wanted.
He's gonna
Satış.
pick up the Phantom, and he has his ultimate. Oh, this is...
Eyvah eyvah.
This could be
Yok
problematic.
ya,
Still needs
imkanı
to
yok
pull
bu
up,
round.
heal up.
O Reyna'ya da verdiler.
Veremezler.
Ne
bu
yapıyor?
arada. İmkansız.
Wall bitti.
I mean, just
Gambit aldı ki.
clotheslined. His head was ripped off. But
Şeydos
they
öldü.
somehow still make this a 2v3.
Eyvah,
They're
eyvah,
soft in
ultisi
fighting
var
distance.
şeyin.
My gosh, it's coming
Redgar'ın
down to a
ultisi var.
2v2. They still just have the Sheriff and the Bulldog to their name. The spike gets picked up. Chronicle and Redgar looking to avoid this for now, looking to potentially play another round, but Vikings, they have control. They have the spike.
10 saniye.
13 seconds, so and I don't know that they're going to be able to
Şamaları lazım
make
artık.
their way towards the plant site.
Ay çok yok.
The dart comes through. Wtcn is tagged. The swing out from Redgar, and Chronicle does it as well. To fend things off for one more round to stay alive, to live
12-9.
live to
Evet.
Geldi Gambit geldi.
To fight one more day, exactly what they needed, and
Gun round
beautiful,
ama.
beautiful stuff. Simple, right? Chronicle, just he knows the time is on his side. It's ticking,
Of,
ticking away,
şey de
so he
olsun.
just pulls out the recon, teeing his teammate up. Perfect alley-oop.
Zorla da vurmuş ama defoya baksana abi. Önündekini vuramıyor amına koyayım.
Across the finish line. We're on 10. Oh no, we're on 9. GG map.
Ferit hoş geldin.
Alp almış
We are
defo.
on 9.
Tronco push
But
push.
with how the second half started, I did not expect to be here. That's for sure.
No, I don't know that anyone did. Vikings full buy.
Bak Sage'i B'ye yolladılar. Herkes A'ya çektiler. Okudu oyunu Gambit. Gambit Brown'u da aldı. İzle. Ya düelleri kaybetmezse
But that's the easy part. That's the hard part. That's before you.
Shadows gets pushed back by the drone. I don't
Net
think he
ulti de geldi.
there, actually. Okay, he did get it. Viper's Pit's gonna go down. This is definitely making Gambit second guess things. Or
Entry de geldi.
just walks perfectly into
koşuluyor.
Devil's crosshair there.
And it
Defo
felt like
duyacak,
that was
infoyu
the game
verecek.
plan for Vikings all along, right? Cause some noise, draw out that Viper spin, and
Info
then flip the map.
verildi.
What they didn't account for was that Defo had taken space mid with that operator and was able to take care of the person who was supposed to be cutting off the rotations. Now we're going to end things up on B.
Kill daha
Defo
Defo'dan.
continues to be a
3
monster
ve 5.
for Gambit.
Bu elde ya.
Vikings down to 3.
Aha.
Blades from our mind.
Aha.
Not able to land the shots.
Ya.
Down to
3'e 3.
Here, FRC is so weak though, Potter.
Yeah, and FRZ does get
Hey.
taken out
Gelmişler
in the middle of the side,
City'den.
and just like that, it's all down to
Var mı lan
Saucy. He's got
sayısı?
2 shock darts to his name, but he's gonna have to get
Saucy.
some
Yok be
incredible
kral.
shots off
Çok zor
Chronicle.
yani.
Just be patient as ever.
Bak Freeze'de
Wait
de
for Shadows
Gambit.
to catch back
Belki
up.
arka geliyordur diye.
And this should just be a 3-man simple retake for Gambit.
Oh.
GG.
No.
Unlucky.
Oo.
Unlucky.
Of
I mean, it
net.
still would have been
Still would have been challenging.
right. It would have been a
12-10.
Yeah.
Alo.
Like, let's call it
Yeah.
what it is.
Geldi Gambit geldi. Alo.
It's a checkmate. Yeah. Dart certainly
Defo
made
chat'e
it
gelip
check
bundan
difficult
Casper'ı
scenario,
istiyor.
but
Ya chatten şey yazıyorlar. Alacağım Casper'ı, vuracağım kırbacı, vuracağım kırbacı falan yazıyorlar.
Oo.
Ben vermem.
Yok öyle bir şey.
Şeye çevirelim abi onu, Casper laptop falan oraya çevirsek.
Ece'nin selamı var.
O da
Ece
koyar
kim
ki.
abi? Guys, ne diyorsun abi?
And it's a really interesting
Tanımıyorum.
thing to point out because this is where we see the difference in teams and their mental.
Right,
Like
right.
Gambit, yes, they've been down. We've seen them down here before, and they've managed to pull it off. Vikings, do they have that mental fortitude? Do they have that experience to feel a game literally fall out from your fingertips and manage to snatch it back? Because right now, this Gambit train is full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead. Oh, I think that dart landed. Oh no, never mind. Defo is able to smoke it off. And full steam ahead, but things have slowed down, at least in this round. That smoke is going to cut off line of sight for Redgar. That should allow some
Edgar'ın
more
oturuşu beni
seesawing
koparıyor
to
ya
happen
kanka.
Tüh.
for Vikings, but this is looking like they want to go, Doug.
No shot.
Niye öyle kanka çocuk?
You creepy,
Bilmiyorum.
you ratty son of a gun. Oh, he swings out and Sada cleans him up.
Mets öldü.
Spike is going to get planted top nest. We've seen this plant coming out from
Güzel de yere kurdular. Resi var.
Their post plants at A
Aa,
have
atmadı res.
been pretty decent for them actually
Gerçi
so
bura
far.
Deli
So
gibi
for Gambit,
vurdu ya.
Redgar, he's got the res. I think they're going to want to go all left
Komple
side
geri
side
çıktılar ve
together
Gambit'te
as the
arkalayan
smoke
biri
gets
yok.
res off.
Oy!
What a
Right.
shot!
Defo ne yaptı, ne
there's the
oldu?
res. As you
3'e
predicted,
3 oldu.
Defo looking for more, and they're
Yok,
going to
GG
continue
ya,
pushing
alamazlar.
forward. They have to avoid any sort of post-plant antics. Redgar on the defuse, gets it to half. Sudakas. Oh, Sudakas, is he going to get enough of a shot?
Çözdük
No,
ya.
he's not. Redgar gets the defuse. Gambi get to 11.
12-11.
Jeez Louise. I mean, imagine
Kader roundu.
has one Molotov there, right?
Evet.
Just the different
Oğlum harbi geldi lan
options
Gambit.
that can and
Şu an
has been happening
ne yapacağını
between these
şaşırdı ya.
rounds. Just insane.
VKS.
Just left and right back and
A'ya
forth.
gitse
Ağzına
olmuyor, B'ye gitse olmuyor. B'ye gitse AWP. Bak şu an bence ben VKS'nin acili olsam tekrar A götürürdüm abi. Ama böyle A rush amına koyayım.
More spicy at this point, Potter.
B'ye gidiyorlar. Yanlış hata. 12-12.
Now look at this double op setup too. And they're both playing on A, and Shados and Defo. One looking up, where I
Tabii.
mean, nobody's peeking up right now. And then depending on how Sadak chooses to play this, he might have
Olaylardan habersiz uyuyor
but they
garibim.
both back up. And I really like this because Defo now is going to stay at A and Shados can rotate towards B to help out if it is a B hit.
Yeah, both Sovas just trading the drone, making sure there's no weird shenanigans, no weird pushes in mid. And actually, the fact that Chronicle was able to break that drone so fast is probably making Vikings just a little bit more nervous than they want
Heci'nin
to be.
selamı. Ya sikeceğim Heci'ni amına koyayım. Heci kim ya?
Back towards A and this has been
Aleykümselam, tamam.
Vikings bread and butter.
Adam sana selam gönderirse ona küfür ediyorsun ama olmaz ki böyle.
Baba tanımıyorum diyorum. Aleykümselam diyorum.
That's true. That's true. We'll give him that.
Ferit'in de makarası oldu ya.
Şuzo kaç amını sikecek Ferit.
Yok be.
Off in the hands of Defo, first shot
Doğru
not gonna
sana.
land the slower,
Aptal.
pushes him back as well.
Gerçekten bazen
The
çok
rest
boş
of the
yapıyorsun ha.
Vikings make their way onto the
Since
site.
Şuzo gerçekten bazen
Sana
çok
diyor,
boş
sana
yapıyor.
diyor, sana diyor, sana
Sana
diyor.
diyorum, salak.
Alakası yok. Alakası yok. Sana diyor Şuzo.
It's gonna be a straight up 5v5 Potter for this thing, and Gambit seemed to be
GG.
holding up just
12-12.
fine as it all falls apart for
Ya ne
İnanılmaz.
oldu? Ne oldu ya?
What the heck? We're going to
İnanılmaz.
overtime. We're not done.
We are not done yet, Doug. Gambit do not want to lose. They do
Ede.
not want to go down.
Oğlum
without
12-5'ten falan mı döndü?
secure
Ben mi
the
yanlış
pass
hatırladım?
and
12-5'ti ya.
just a
12-5
pre-take
falan da.
on the tap, the spikes going down before the members of Vikings can even set up in any sort of a post
Gambit
plan.
aldı ki
It's
bu
go time,
şeyle.
baby.
Evet,
They're
bu
in
gazla
there.
aldı Gambit.
Buff ya.
And they come out on top.
And the momentum, you know, we talked about it at the half, like what the energy was like in the arena. You just heard probably the loudest pop off from Gambit that I think we've heard all
Ne
week.
yapayım? Çantasını falan hazırlayayım o zaman ben kesin.
We're not hearing, and well, it's not because it's not like Vikings have had very many reasons to cheer in the last couple of rounds, but silent over there. You could hear a pin drop on that side of the stage.
What was the score? 6-12?
Yeah,
My
yeah, I think so.
goodness, my goodness, 6-12. That's a tilter.
Well, and thank you. That's exactly what I was just thinking. I know I touched on it earlier, but mental becomes a factor here, right? Like, Gambit have shown that they can weather this, and they can come out on the other side maybe a bit beaten and battered, but they're okay.
Yeah,
We haven't seen that from Vikings.
we haven't, and you know, it's worrisome because there are the best teams in the world across so many esport titles that their biggest issue is closing out games, right? It's being able to find that answer and stop playing not to lose, but to actually play to win, play to take what's yours. And I'm not sure exactly if that's what they're missing, but you know, that is generally the go-to, is that when you're at a lead at 6-12, sometimes you start thinking, oh, we can't make a mistake, guys. Keep it clean, and all of a sudden, maybe you're turtling up a little too much. Maybe you're playing it a little bit too safe. So, yeah, let's see Vikings get loosey-goosey a little bit. Loosen it up.
7 rounds.
Hadi bakalım.
Jeez.
7. It's gut check time for both of these teams.
That hurts.
Gambit took a timeout at the top of the overtime, took a little bit extra. Make sure you've got your plan figured out. Now we're heading into things.
Uyuyor ya şimdi,
You
rahatsız
see the
etmeyeyim.
timeline, it really kind of tells
Bayağı.
everything.
Bugün
For
bir
you.
keyfi
The
yok ya
one real kind
paşamın.
of benefit here for Brazil is, as you see,
Allah'ım.
it was Gambit's defensive half
Ne
that
oldu
was
lan
so
çocuk?
stalwart. But Gambit's attack
Kim
left
güçlüdür
some to
seni?
be desired. For Vikings, this might be exactly what they need.
Yeah, and I actually like this change of pace from Gambit. They are going real aggressive towards A. The drones are
Var oğlum
used.
taşakları yok.
Oh, you can see Saucy.
Salak.
Oh, he's already
Zipenz 5
mine.
kişiye sablık hediyen için
Thought
çok
he was
teşekkürler.
holding on to that recon, but it's been used, and 2 defenders stuck backside here.
Wall goes up, wall goes down.
Daha
and I think
gördü.
they saw Defo's
Aa!
shoelaces as he tried to swing it around. Defo doesn't seem to mind.
Abi işte
Gambit
bu
hold up just fine.
işte bu ne biliyor musunuz arkadaşlar? Soğukkanlılık abi. Eli ayağı titriyor Brezilyalıların. Bitmiş maç. Harbi bitmiş maç. Yok şu an o stresi kaldıramadılar ya. O stres management
Them the
gitti.
energy. He's definitely wondering what the heck just happened to my team. They all died so fast. One
Valorant'ın da
versus
makarası bu abi
four.
işte.
Does find Chronicle. Does a little bit of damage, but he's unable to find the kill very fast.
Ne yapıyorsun Jesus?
Spike gets taken away, Doug.
Yeah, there's just so much going against him. at this moment, and it goes from bad to worse as you saw 3 members of Gambit start to walk up towards that Viper's wall, right? Like, it wasn't just the time, it was, hey, listen, we know where you are, we're not going to let you isolate these gunfights, we're all coming at you at once.
BO3 mı daha iyi bu mu? Tabii ki bu amına koyayım. Böyle bir maçta böyle bir comeback atmak göt ister.
The one that planted the spike turns around and finds 3 kills in the back of site for himself.
That's not bad.
That is not.
To go from where they were to this point, 1 round away.
Evet, Gambit için maç sayısı.
There's still 1 round to go. Gambit on the defensive side. They looked so good. They're going to have to do it 1 more time here in overtime to put Vikings away. But the Viking squad, this is just now really this map is where we've seen some weakness. They've been so consistent.
O da gördü.
Defo's not able to land the shots with the glass cannon, and you see some of that wear already. He had no armor to keep him healthy. He drops down to 86 HP.
What a peek coming in there for Wtcn to not get picked there. Just showing just barely an elbow.
Take flight.
And he gets away with his life. That's really good information coming over here for Vikings. A good tag as well. This should give Vikings all of that B main control. You can see it there.
B'yi üçledi Gambit. Büyük fake yedi.
The A hit. It's coming. Shadows, he's all alone.
Ses verdi. Ses verdi. Duydu. Bakmıyor kimse.
Shadows'un yeri çok iyi. Shadows'un yeri çok iyi.
Bitti.
Helal lan.
Biter. Vallahi oldu. İnanılmaz amına koyayım.
Netse bir soru şart attık
Oğlum
orada.
helal olsun lan Gambit'e. Defo sen hak etmedin amına koyayım. Gerçi fena oynamadı ya Defo'da.
Sonlarda şey yaptı abi. 2 kill'den nerelere gönderdi.
Gelin olmuş gidiyorsun. Esmer.
It took superstar hero moments to bring the whole squad back together. But it looked like it was a team unit, at least in those last 7 rounds. In that